This video is for you aspiring authors that you just finished your first draft. You've been so excited to read it. You read it and it's like, oh, this is terrible. And you don't know why. Trust me, I've been there. I've written the first draft and I didn't like it. This is your baby. You've been typing away and struggling with it for a very long time. You need someone else to give you honest advice. Now, there's a couple ways to do it. You can do it for free, which is what's called beta readers, or you can pay someone for editing services. So it's really going to depend on a few things with you. One is, what's your budget? How much time do you have? And are there people around you that you can trust to give you the honest feedback you need and not just simply say it's good and then not give you anything you can work with? Developmental editor is going to focus on the big picture. So what's the overarching tone or themes or characterization or plot? Where are some major issues that you need to focus on in order to improve your book? The next step then would be a copy editor. So that's if your major themes or the big picture is pretty good, but maybe it's your prose that needs sharpening. It could be the story elements need to be figured out or tweaked and so on. And they can help with your style and flow, which are very critical, but it's not going to get you to print ready. What's going to get you to print ready is what's called a proofreader. Now, a proofreader is going to nitpick that manuscript of yours from 60 to 80,000 words or more, and they're going to try to find every last little mistake in that book in order to correct it so you can get to print ready. Because remember, if there are any mistakes in your book, it's going to pull the reader out of the story and it's going to hurt you. And reviewers will actually see that and criticize that. And it will distract from your book, which is a shame because you spent so many hours trying to make it great. Why try to leave it for the last few mistakes? That's going to lessen the experience for the reader. So in order to pick an editor, well, the first thing obviously is you want to make sure that they've edited your genre. Then, do you get along with them? I would highly meet them or video conference them to see, do you have the right communication style? So if you say one thing, do they understand that? Or are you going to have miscommunication and that's going to break down later when they edit your book and you're going to realize that's not what I wanted. So you really need that strong communication style and open communication up front first to make sure that you're actually a good fit. And can they work within your timeline? And again, can they work within your budget? So budget will probably be a key thing here because you could spend from a few hundred to several $1,000s per category of edit. So you want to be very careful that you only pay for editing when you absolutely need it from any one of those three categories. Otherwise, you're going to pay a lot of money to get your book print ready. And of course, if you're self-publishing, you have so many other costs you got to deal with. Do you want to spend thousands before you even publish? So one way you can get a professional editor is through Reedsy.com. Oftentimes they have editors from various publishing houses and they're very specific. So be very careful here. These are editors often that are in a large machine pumping out various types of edits they're used to. So they're going to be very specific of what they can provide you and what they can't, but it may not be what you need. So again, that open, honest communication when you're talking to these editors and trying to figure out what exactly you want them to do for your book. So when you're looking for an editor, don't be afraid to shop around. The more economical options, if you don't want to go for a professional editor, are potentially fellow aspiring authors or authors in your group or people you can find from your local community college, the writing programs. But again, like any either professional or amateur editor, it's going to be hit and miss, and you're going to have to do your work to find the best one for you. Now, in order for editors to make rough understanding of cost, they need to know the word count, the genre, and they should probably see a sample of your writing, which is perfect because that's how we're going to use to vet an editor. So I found the best way to vet an editor is to get them to show, not tell, their ability. So what I do is when I shop around for various editors, I get each editor to copy edit or to edit, depending on the type of edit you want, the same chapter. It allows you to compare about what each is able to find and what they miss. And then you can see which type of editor best fits your style. Very interesting thing about this way to do it is you're going to find no chapter will be edited the exact same way by these different editors. So that's why it's going to be very important for you to figure out which is the best editor for you. First thing the editors will do is they'll probably create a variety of tables as they're editing. So they're going to create chapter summaries, they're going to create character lists with traits, they're going to have tables on geography and maybe cultural references and more. So I found as an author, I like to do that ahead of time and get that prep for them, because not only it saves on cost and allows them to focus more on editing, but I find too, when I do that type of work, I can actually see a lot of inconsistency either in characters or geography references or cultural references. And I'm able to fix that before I get it to the editor. So I'd highly recommend you do it yourself first, but if you don't, they'll do it for you. After you talk to them and you're excited and you want to work with them and they want to work with you, strongly consider that you guys sign a contract. Now, a contract is going to help for both of you because you're going to have to clarify what type of work you want done. Why this is important is that you're going to define the type of work that you're going to do together. So ideally, the editor is going to list out whether they're going to be developmental, copy, or proofreader, or potentially if you want bits of all three, you need to specify that. Otherwise, they'll default to what they do best. So you want to make sure what you want from them is in that contract. Secondly, you can then describe copyright protection. You want to make sure as an author that the editing doesn't change it enough, it allows them to have a copyright too. So if you want to know about your various copyright laws for your country, then what you can do is you can actually go to various editing or writing associations around the world on websites and so on. You can download templates of contracts. You can look at your particular copyright responsibilities and rights, and then you can make sure it's listed in the contract. And again, if you need legal advice for that, you should go seek out a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer and I can't provide any contractual advice. And then, of course, expect invoicing. You might want to invoice all up front, which is not the best for the author. And you probably want to pace it and you want to be able to hold back some of the percentage of the contract to make sure that you both agree that this is actually the work you wanted. To getting an editor is a cost, and you might want to keep costs down because maybe you don't have a budget at all. So that's where beta readers come in. So what I would recommend for you to find the best beta reader is potentially authors in your genre, authors, aspiring authors that you know. You could potentially find them on Facebook, other Instagram and other social media. You can build a community there to see if someone's interested in to help you, ideally for free. But be careful here. They may have totally different writing styles than you. So you might want to make sure that you understand their particular writing style, because if they dive in and critique you, they may not be the best critic for you. The other option is avid readers, especially in your genre. If you have friends that love the type of genre you're in, they may be able to provide some good, strong support, especially in a type of developmental edit, so that big picture, high level. That's where they can probably come in best. They're not technical editors that can help you with copy editing, but they can help you with the big picture and tell you what they feel is not working for your first draft. What I don't want you to do is to bring in friends and family who worry about hurting your feelings, because you want honest feedback and you also want substantial feedback. You don't want to hear, oh, it's good or it's fine, because that gives you nothing to work with. So you need people that are actually going to critique your work and give you their honest feedback. And again, regardless of the advice you get from editors and beta readers, you don't have to take all the advice. It's up to you to pick and choose what you feel is best and what resonates to you about how you can improve your book. Now, with any beta reader, you want to be careful about keep asking them to come back to reading your book over and over again. For one, they're getting too close to your work and they may not be able to judge. And two, you might exhaust them. That might not be the best way for you to rely on them, because they will probably provide less and less advice because they're doing it for free. You want to make sure you're asking at the right time when you really need their help before you ask them again. And furthermore, you also want to potentially leverage them for your street team. That's your volunteer team that's going to help you launch your book. So you don't want to exhaust them before you even get to publication, because these beta readers could be great champions of your work when you're finally ready to publish. The other thing too is I want you to prepare yourself for is harsh, honest criticism. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck your soul out of your body. This is your baby. You've struggled with this. You've been alone writing this for hours and days and weeks and months. You've put all your heart and soul into it. And when someone comes back and says something negative, you need to separate that out. It's not you they're criticizing. There's just elements of your writing that you can improve on. And I highly want to stress that. Do not take their criticism personal, because wait for it, you're going to get reviews. And even if you get the best reviews, and I've had some very amazing responses from readers and gotten 4.5 out of 5 or 4.2 out of 5 for my books, but I still get 1s and 2s. Because if you have a large enough readership, you're going to reach people that don't like your genre or are not going to like your style of writing, and they're going to hammer you for it. But that doesn't necessarily mean you can't learn something from it, whether to help you as an author or to help you as a marketer, because maybe you just reached the wrong person. And that's fine. There's a lot you can learn from good and bad reviews, and I'll have a video soon to talk about that. I've been there with you. I know what it feels like to write a book and struggle with a book for over 8 years and trying to make it right and trying to figure out why it's just not working and going back again and again and again. So I know that feeling, but I also know the feeling of being able to write a first draft and loving it. And also to getting editor support to not only make it good, but to make it great. And so that's what we're here to help you with, to help you overcome the struggles of writing that first draft and not liking it, but getting you the supports you need to make it not only good, but to make it great and for you to love your book, because it is very special. And I'm very excited to learn about what you're going to do with your writing. Anyways, if you like this video, hit like, and you can also subscribe to the channel. So I'm here to help you save time and money in this big publishing industry to help you become a successful author too.